So here we are at Record Store Day 2024. I'm gonna flip it around so you can see everybody else. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's very special edition of Ant on Music. I, of course, am your humble host, Ant. Before we get into it, all right, our episode is going to be about Record Store Day. That's right, the most holiest of holy days for us, all of us vinyl and music junkies. Record Store Day 2024 has come and gone, and I'm going to be doing a recap on everything I got. It's going to be a long show, but before we get into it, I just want to remind everybody, click like, comment. If you're not a subscriber yet, what in God's name are you waiting for? Please subscribe. I really appreciate people subscribing, checking out the channel. Behind me up on the shelf, if you can make it out, got a couple of older Record Store Day releases, and I have got a stack of vinyl. And believe it or not, I didn't get everything that I wanted. I let one or two things slide by, but there was one that I didn't get a hold of that I'm hoping that I can get from, of all places, the UK. I'm going to be looking online and seeing if I can get it before going on and dealing with the vultures on Discogs. Everybody knows if you're a record collector, if you're a diehard, you know how scary that can be, especially when people give in to the mania of Record Store Day. So I hit three, not one, not two, but three record stores locally. I didn't go to a fourth one. I called ahead. They didn't have what I wanted, so that was that. And that's why I'm going to be checking stuff out online and hopefully not dealing with Discogs. And I was trying to think, so how am I going to do this? There's so much stuff to go through. It's so many various, genres. What am I going to do? Best thing for me to do is just to go through this alphabetically with one exception. So let's get going. Let's start off. If you've watched my channel before, you know that I'm not big on picture discs. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a picture disc. All right. So this is the 40th anniversary Record Store Day exclusive of Ronnie James Dio's Last in Line. And what's so cool about this version of the album is that it's a Z-Trophy, okay, on both sides. So when this spins, you actually see the demon from the album cover moving, all right? So what I'm going to try and do is just take a little video of that and tag that on the end so you can take a look at that. If not, you could always go on to places like Facebook. They have it as well. And here you see they have the actual cover, the original cover of the album. It's now the interior, of the back of the album. I'm not going to go through tracks on this. If you're a Dio fan, you know about this album. You know the Last in Line. So this was the record store release for this. All right. I'm going to try and keep this moving because there is a boatload of stuff. Okay. Next up, one of my all-time favorites, The Faces. All right. And this is a limited edition 2-album set of The Faces on clear vinyl, and it comes with this little booklet. Talks about the album itself and their records. Faces, as you know, Ronnie Wood and Mr. Rod Stewart and company, and they are two vinyl slabs that are clear. Nothing spectacular to look at. Clear vinyl, very cool. Always fun to try and cue up if you're trying to cue it up in the middle of the album as opposed to starting it from beginning to end. And this is the Faces BBC recording sessions. It's the first time on one album all the surviving Faces sessions are recorded for the BBC. And it's got Wicked Messenger, Devotion, Shake, Shudder, and Shiver, Flying, Had Me a Real Good Time, Around the Plinth, and Gasoline Alley, fantastic song. Country Comfort, Love in Vain, Maybe I'm Amazed, which I've said it before, Maybe I'm Amazed is one of my favorite covers ever. It's the Wings tune and the Faces redid it, and it's really fantastic. Also got Miss Judy's Farm and Maggie May in addition to all that. And if you saw, the hype stickers on there, I try not to remove them unless I absolutely have to show you something like a gatefold or anything like that. So you have the faces, all right? So, moving right along, okay? We're going to jump down the alphabet a bit and go to the letter M, all right? And kind of bookending stuff here today because we're going to get into the letter P eventually. You're going to see something else. But this is Malfunction, okay? If you're unfamiliar with Malfunction, Malfunction was a band that came out of Seattle, all right? And it's where Andrew Wood, the Leandrew, the love god of Mother Love Bone, and his brother, they started this band. And there's only 1,500 of these, and I have number, let's see, there's how many of these? Yeah, 1,500 copies, and I have number 1351. Kind of hard to see, but it is imprinted there, and this is pretty cool. You know, in the gatefold, you see pictures of the band live. They were kind of a mixture of glam, punk, and like the beginnings of grunge. And, you know, this is a pretty nice set. Comes with this two-sided Malfunction poster. So you have, there he is, Leandrew the Love God. All right, one of the best frontmen to come out of Seattle, and I'll show you the back as well. It's all sorts of flyers from back in the day. And if you're familiar with the story of Andy Wood, you know, after this band folded, he went on and formed Mother Love Bone, one of my favorite bands from that era. And when at that time he was living with Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell went on to go join Soundgarden, and Andrew passed away, you know, unfortunately from heroin overdose. And the band, some of the members of the band, Jeff Ament and Mike McCready, went on to form Pearl Jam. So you have a couple of pictures of what it was like to catch them live. And what this is, got a couple black and whites as well. There's Leandrew on the Steinberger bass, and this is on a pretty funky looking purple. All right, and you know, good stuff. You know, it's nice to have it on vinyl. You know, 2-album set. You know, you got Enter Leandrew, the Love God, My Only Fan, Mr. Liberty with Morals, Jezebel Woman, Shotgun Wedding, Winter Bites, and on and on and on. I Am the Wombat, Champion, Pretty Modern Boys, and on and on and on. Lots of good stuff on here. If you're unfamiliar with them and you'd like to check them out, this pretty much got everything you'd want. So definitely give it a listen, check them out. There are other collections out there that have them, that have their stuff on there. For me, as a real lover of their music, I was really thrilled to find out that this was coming out for Record Store Day this year, and I got it. Okay. So next, moving right along, if you follow the channel regularly, you'll know that I did a whole show on Motley Crue, right? And I have most of Motley's stuff on vinyl. There's like one or two things I don't. This is one of them. Reason why I didn't have it before today, didn't exist. This is the first pressing on vinyl. All right, I'm going to grab a sip of water here because my throat's already getting dry. This is a Record Store Day release of the Motley Crue album Supersonic and Demonic Relics. All right, so you have that. There's the front. There's the back. It's obviously a speaker. Interior. And what this is this is a rarities, you know, rarities, B-sides, unreleased stuff, live. So you've got everything like that. And these are picture discs. All right, like I said, not a picture disc guy, but hey, this is the first time this is available on vinyl. I want it. All right, and there you go. That's the front. There's the back. Looks like a blown speaker cone. And show you the other one real quick as well. And it's got inside on the gatefold that has some stuff they talk about, you know, the band's recollections of doing certain songs and why they were picked and things like that. Like, you know, there was all sorts of good stuff. I don't even want to mess with this at this point. You know, Bittersweet's on here. Teaser, which is a great song. Primal Scream. Anarchy in the UK cover. Mood Ring, which was an unreleased track. Rock and Roll Junkie, which is a great track by Crue. Show the other one real quick. There you go. And on the back, just basically black speaker cone. You know, my problem has always been, like in the past, a lot of times picture discs don't sound fantastic, so they end up basically becoming like something to look at. And, they're not functional, but the quality on more recent picture discs has improved. And this is a neat set. Once again, real happy to have it in my collection. And next time I do a Motley Crue show, I have that to add to it. Moving right along, Motorhead. Okay. Also did a show a few weeks back where I talked about the Motorhead releases, and I was kind of wondering when I was putting that show together as to why they didn't release the Motorhead live album, the Lost Tapes #5, which was released on a pretty cool looking yellow vinyl. Real simple. They didn't release it because they were releasing this. And this is called Remorse No. There's the hype sticker. And it is basically a reissue, 40th anniversary reissue of the original, which was released on, I have it on CD. It was released in this neat little black leather sleeve. It's the same track listing as the original. So you have the front and back there. You have the gate, the information about the record, band personnel, all that. And since it's an anniversary edition, what they did was they released it on double silver vinyl. I'll only show you one. It's kind of cool looking. All right. Both albums are, look basically the same. There's no difference. And this has got pretty much a really good, collection of Motorhead songs. Like, if you know them and you're a collector, you want it. If you're unfamiliar with them, it's not a bad place to start. Stone Deaf Forever is another really good. You get that box set that's got a ton of great Motorhead stuff on there up until that point. And this, of course, has Ace of Spades, got an alternative version, Motorhead, Jailbait, Stay Clean, Poison, Kill by Death, and that's just side one. Overkill, Under the Knife, Stone Dead Forever, Like a Nightmare, Over the Top, Steal Your Face, Bomber, Iron Fist, Climber, Chinese, Hump on Your Back, Snaggletooth, their version of Louie Louie, which is awesome, No Class, Under the Knife, demo version, We Are the Road Crew, alternate version, You Ain't Gonna Live Forever, and Locomotive. Glad that they re-released this. Didn't have it on vinyl before. Now I do. All right. So the next one. This was just released yesterday, all right? This is the new Pearl Jam album, but this version was released today. And this is a Record Store Day exclusive, okay? And show you this. This is probably the only album in here that I've listened to. I mean, the stuff that's re-releases like Supersonic and Demonic and No Remorse, yeah, I've listened to those over the years, and I've had them on CD and whatnot. So I've listened to those. But as far as new stuff goes that I've never owned before, this is the only thing that I've listened to. And I actually listened to it on digital just because I knew that today they were releasing this version as opposed to standard black. This came out in this funky green and greenish yellow and black. All right. This is a damn good Pearl Jam album. I gotta say that. And I spoke to my brother-in-law about it. My brother-in-law is like the original member of the 10 fan club. This is his band, my brother-in-law Joe, and he absolutely loves it. In addition to the vinyl, all right, you also get this book, all right, that has all the liner notes and the lyrics, along with some really cool additional artwork. And I listened to about half the album, and I got to say, and I spoke to my brother-in-law Joe, and he agrees. It's better than the last album. And you get a set of funky PJ stickers as well, so you have that. So this album, you've probably heard the single Dark Matter. I've listened to the first, I think, 6 or 7 tracks: Scared of Fear, React, Respond, Wreckage, Dark Matter, Won't Tell, Upper Hand, Waiting for Stevie. Those are the ones I've listened to. Then you've got Running, Something Special, Got to Give, and Setting Sun, which I'll be checking out probably after I'm done recording and editing this video, because I was, not only was I not disappointed in this Pearl Jam album, I was actually kind of impressed, which was kind of neat. It's like I kind of bag on them a bit, but it's only because I'm such a huge Mother Love Bone fan, and it kills me that Andrew Wood's no longer with us, but if it wasn't for Mr. Wood, there'd be no PJ. So things happen for a reason, as they say. Moving right along, we're going to take a trip back to the 70s, all right, to some Radio AM Gold. And this is another 2-album set. This is Todd Rundgren's 5th album, called simply Todd. And this is a 2-record set, and it's on colored vinyl, so we'll show you that. It's got this little fold out in here with the lyrics and also this long essay about Todd. And if you kind of look closely, you can see his face there. It's pretty cool the way they did that with the typeface, kind of neat. Vinyl is on, 2 different colors, so we'll show you both. It's got this funky pumpkin orange and also this groovy green vinyl. All right, and it's on the Bearsville label. It's got a couple of tracks that, if you're familiar with Todd's work, you definitely know what they are. It kicks off with How About a Little Fanfare, and also it's got Drunken Rooster and Lowest Common Denominator, Heavy Metal Kids, and probably the biggest track on here is A Dream Goes On Forever, which I absolutely love. I was a big Todd fan growing up, and happy to see his stuff getting re-released on vinyl, because I was young when this stuff came out, and I didn't get a chance to get it. So I'm very happy to grab this album. And I've got his other ones that he's done for Record Store Day, like Something Anything and Wizard of True Star. So that's that. Bringing us back to the 80s and 90s, okay? Moving along alphabetically. Tesla, Reel to Reel, Volume 1, which I'm hoping there's a Volume 2 that comes out on this as well. This is all covers, all right? Tesla, they're a band that I actually saw on their first tour. I didn't know who they were. They opened for David Lee Roth, and they were surprised. It was originally supposed to be Andy Taylor of Duran Duran opening for David Lee Roth, but something went sideways, and these guys picked up the mantle, and they went with it, and I was absolutely blown away. I remember seeing them. It was on the first David Lee Roth solo tour, and I was just sitting there like jaw on chin, chin on chest. I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were phenomenal, and they're still great. And this is a re-release. I have these both volumes on CD. This is, like I said, Volume 1. It's a bunch of covers. So there's the front, there's the back with pictures of the band, and on the front it has the titles of the tracks that are on here, and also it has some information on what those tracks are, like what the covers are of. You've got Space Truckin', which is Deep Purple, the James Gang's Walk Away, Hand Me Down from the Guess Who, Bad Reputation by Thin Lizzy. Always love when there's a Lizzy cut in there. Thank You by Zeppelin. I've Got a Feeling by the Beatles, Day of the Eagle by Robin Trower, Ball of Confusion, which was also redone by Anthrax, from The Temptations, Rock Bottom from UFO, Stealin' from Uriah Heep, Bell Bottom Blues from Derek and the Dominoes, Honky Tonk Women by the Stones, and Dear Mr. Fantasy by Traffic. And, it looks like a reel-to-reel, and they're both pressed on this cool-looking clear red vinyl. Dig it. It's pretty awesome. I've heard this album for years and years. I've had it on CD. Once again, very happy to add it to the collection on vinyl, especially colored vinyl. It's always cool. It's a little extra added touch. I mean, I know if I was a kid growing up and there was colored vinyl, I probably would have had like 1,000 albums on colored vinyl back in the day. In that said, I mentioned Thin Lizzy. So, why don't we talk about Thin Lizzy? So this is an RSD first. A lot of these are RSD exclusives. What I try to do when I go out for Record Store Days, I'm like a maniac. I don't know if any of the rest of you are like nuts like me. But what I do is, as soon as that list comes out, at the beginning of the year, I start, digging through it. And the first thing I do is, all right, what do I absolutely want? What's the things that I need? And, then I try to whittle it down where I'm not like making a mortgage payment or a car payment to the record store. And I got to say, I've seen a lot of people online this year. A lot of people online really just shit on this list, all right, for Record Store Day 2024. And I got to tell you, I thought it was a great list. There was something on there for everyone. It's like, I let go stuff by by Neil Young, the Stones, who else? The Ramones, Talking Heads. I mean, bands that I love. And, I whittled it down. Who knows? Maybe over the next few weeks as I go through record stores again or see something online where it's not like crazy price, maybe I'll pick those up. I usually do that. If there's something that really sticks in my craw that I gotta have, I will hunt it down. And there is one of them every year. And I'll talk about that one at the end. But this Thin Lizzy album, this is an RSD first. It's not an exclusive, which means if you didn't get it today, don't worry, you're going to find it somewhere at some point. And what this is Lizzy Live and Dangerous at Hammersmith Odeon, 16th November 76. And they released a box set last year. Thin Lizzy released a box set for Live and Dangerous. And this was one of the shows that was on there. And they did a standalone release of this show, and it's got very little to no overdubs on it. And it's really Lizzy in their prime in 76 for the Johnny the Fox tour. I mean, it's just balls to the wall, great music from beginning to end. Starts off with Jailbreak, Massacre, Emerald, Johnny, It's Only Money, Still in Love with You, Johnny the Fox meets Jimmy the Weed, The Boys Are Back in Town. If you haven't heard that song, where have you been? Rosalie, Suicide Warriors, Sha-La-La. And then it finishes off with Baby Drives Me Craving, meaning the boys were wondering how you and the girls were getting home from here tonight. Great classic Lizzy album. Give you a look at everything. So once again, there's the front cover. There's the rear. There's the interior, which has info on the tour and all the production notes and a picture of one of the tickets from back then. You can see how cheap it was to go to concerts back in the day, unlike now. And this album, inside, there's Mr. Phil Lynott. All right. And it's basic black vinyl, nothing spectacular to look at. So, show you the other sleeve as well, just so you get to see all the band members. And there you go. The always excellent live Thin Lizzy. So thrilled to have this standalone set, on vinyl. It's always cool to add some Thin Lizzy to your record collection. And like I said, you can, if you don't catch it right away, if you haven't already, it'll be out there again shortly. Next up, didn't have this on vinyl before today, but I have it on CD. All right, and this is one of my favorite prog metal bands, prog thrash metal bands from north of the border. Everyone's second favorite Canadian band behind Rush. You have Voivod with The Wake, and of course you got the typical Voivod artwork there from their drummer, Away, who also does their typeface and their lyrics. Here's the back of that, picture of the band and the track listing. This is a pretty damn good track listing for this album. They've really been on a tear as of late. This is, like I said, this is a repress from an album from 6 years ago. But you got Obsolete Beings, The End of Dormancy, Orb Confusion, I Conspiracy, Spherical Perspective, Event Horizon, Always Moving, and Sonic Mycelium. And we'll take a look at the albums themselves. Always cool stuff from Voivod. And these are some pretty funky looking records, so we'll take these out of the sleeve. That's a pretty cool looking slab of vinyl right there. So, Voivod continuing to get all their stuff on vinyl that I don't have on vinyl. If you go back and look at prior episodes, I did an episode where I had a bunch of their stuff out with the Forgotten in Space box set that came out a while ago. And this one, of course, take a look at this, another, pretty cool. And they have an etching on side 4. See if I can get this in the right direction. Maybe hard to see. Try and tilt it back and forth a little bit. So, Voivod, The Wake. And this was number 8 on Rolling Stone's Best Metal Albums of 2018, according to the hype sticker. Don't need a hype sticker for me for Voivod. I'm in, always. Moving right along. We're just cooking this week. Usually I do 5 albums in a week, and that's a lot. Da-oo. All right. So this is The Who, the story of The Who. The pinball machine exploding. Pinball machine intact. And let's take a look at the gatefold here. The gatefold's cool because it's got a book that's part of the gatefold. So let's show you the front, all right? Then we'll show you the very rear of it, all right? Lots of stuff to read through. This is going to be something to read, and this is a repress, and I'll just show you a couple of pictures. Got the story of the Who right in there. Like I said, the writing's kind of tiny. You don't know how much of that you're going to see. And this has got a killer track listing too. Magic Bus, Substitute Boris, The Spider, Run, 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 I'm a Boy, Heat Wave, My Generation, Pictures of Lily, Happy Jack the Seeker, I Can See for Miles and Miles, Bargain, and Squeeze Box, Amazing Journey, The Acid Queen, Do You Think It's Alright, Fiddle About, Pinball Wizard, I'm Free, Tommy's Holiday Camp, We're Not Gonna Take It. No, not the Twisted Sister version. This one was first. Summertime Blues, Bob O'Reilly, Behind Blue Eyes, Slip Kid, and Won't Get Fooled Again. So the story of the Who on some pretty cool vinyl there. All right. So take a look at this. It's almost like a pink. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say anything. What are they? Tulip said on colored vinyl. It doesn't indicate what they're calling. So I would call that a pink. And we'll take a look at the other one, the other slab here. And this one is kind of like almost a slate blue, I guess you would call that. So that's that, pink and blue for the Who. And this is also just a Record Store Day first release. Woohoo! Throat's going. Once again, like the Voivod, if you didn't catch it today, it's going to be back out there. I'm a big Who fan, have become a big Who fan over the years, had to have it. These two I haven't even opened yet because they're basic black. There's nothing to see here, as they say. Move along now. This, if you've been watching my shows, my episodes here on my channel, I am a huge Steven Wilson fan. And this is another release associated with his album that he put out, the Harmony Codex. And this one is called Harmonic Divergence. It's remixed and reimagined. So the cool thing is, Steven Wilson gave other people the tracks and let them tear them apart and rebuild them. So you have Time Is Running Out by Ewan Pearson, the Harmony Codex by David Collar and R.V. Henriksen, the Codex theme, Actual Brutal Facts by Craig Blundell, who's the drummer for Steven Wilson. Manic Street Preachers Take a Crack at Economies of Scale. Codex theme number 4, Rock Bottom, Adam Holzman, who is keyboard player for Steve. Harmony Codex, the Mogwai mix, and Codex theme number 13. So it's pretty neat to have that, and this falls in line with the artwork that went along with the original album. I'm sure I'm going to dig this. There's never been anything by Steven Wilson that I haven't loved. Next to last, okay, as far as what I'm going to show you, then we're going to talk about what I missed out on. I mentioned some things I passed on, and the one thing that I missed out on, which is sticking in my craw, because it was the first thing on my list, top of my list, and it's like, they said it's going to be the release of Record Store Day, and it wouldn't matter to me because I'm a huge fan of that artist. Anyhow, kind of an old bootlegging looking type of album, just 4 tracks. This is recorded live at the Yale Bowl up in New Haven, Connecticut, July 24th of 71. Got Yours Is No Disgrace, I've Seen All Good People, Clap, Classical Gas, and Perpetual Change. Of course, it's Yes. All right, and I love the fact that they did this like the bootlegs used to come out back in the day, back in the 70s. It's like a wraparound piece of paper, just in a sleeve, and it's even like kind of dirtied up already. So it looks like a bootleg that you would get back then. Hopefully, it sounds a hell of a lot better than bootleg from back then. All right, so I'm gonna give you the one last thing that the one thing I'm gonna complain about, and what would the week be if I didn't show you some form of a cool box set, right? So the thing that ticked me off, got my list, really, mulling it over. And it's my own damn fault. I got up early. I was up early enough to make it to Record Store Day, earlier than I did. Last year I got there like 8:30, and it was fine. I was like 6th in line. No big deal. This year I got there at 7:45, and I was 13th in line. And I got to tell you that sometimes it makes all the difference in the world. Today it did. The thing that I missed out on, one of my all-time favorites, David Bowie. David Bowie put out an album today, which basically is the demo versions for what became Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And, I was chomping at the bit to get that album. I didn't get it, but I'm hoping there's a few, independent, record stores that I deal with over in England and Germany. I'm hoping one of them has a spare copy once they do inventory tonight and post it up online. And if they do, that's great, because then I don't have to deal with the vultures on Discogs, which, I saw one guy in France already, because I had to check because I'm a lunatic. One guy in France is selling the album for $59, right? Well, the album sells for $30. Not bad. And he's only asking for $200 shipping and handling. Are these people out of their friggin' minds? I mean, really, come on. $200 in shipping, what is the guy going to do? Get a plane ticket and deliver it here? I don't understand. Absolutely stupid. Enough bitching. Let's end on a high note, okay? Past few record store days, they have had releases from Eric Carr of Kiss, all right? Once again, you go back through my old episodes, you can hear the story of when I interviewed Eric Carr of Kiss. It was his last interview he did in New York before he died, very untimely death due to cancer. Freaking cancer, it sucks. But the cash machine always needs to ring, so they released yet another Eric Carr album. We'll take a look at that. So this is a box set. And here is the hype sticker. It's only, basically the, 2 albums. It's a box set. Why? Because it comes in a damn box. That's why. All right. We'll show you the back first. So you got the track listing there. All right. We'll show you the inside second. All right. So the inside has the album. Okay. And obviously that's from a picture from Creatures of the Night. Eric in his full Fox makeup. Got some pictures here. This is sides 3 and 4 of Unfinished Business, as the album is called. There's the track listing. It's got some interview stuff. Not when I interviewed him, which would have been awesome if that would have been on there. Would have loved that honor. And this is 1 and 2. Now we've got a couple of bonus tracks that weren't on the original release or the picture disc. And we'll take a look at the albums as well. Kind of a really cool deep blue right there. Very neat. And the other one is this funky lemon yellow. All right, so you got that. Okay. And we're not done yet. There's other goodies in here, right? Not much, but there is other stuff. Got this cartoon poster of the Fox in action, suitable for framing. And I know somebody who I see at Record Store Day who's a huge Kiss fan. I know she's gonna end up framing that picture. I know she is. She already said so. I was standing in line waiting to pick it up. So happy for people that got what they wanted to get. Unhappy for me that I didn't get my damn David Bowie album, but I'll hunt it down. It's be the same thing as when I had to hunt down the Soul Asylum album. I will find you. Was the line Liam Neeson says, "I'm a man of a very special set of skills." Yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, so I got to show you the front. Now this is the cool thing about the front. The eyes light up. How neat is that? So if you have the Tool album, the last Tool album that came out, they had a video that played. This obviously isn't as high tech, but if you push the button between Eric's eyes, they light up. And that's what makes this probably the coolest release of Record Store Day 2024. Thanks so much for hanging with me. I know I threw a ton of crap at you this week. Very long show. I'm going to try and throw in a little video at the end of the Dio spinning around. That's pretty neat. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for checking out the show. If you haven't, click subscribe. Join the colony, right? Ants live in a colony. Want to make the colony grow? Click subscribe. Really appreciate it. Until next week, thanks so much for checking out the channel. Peace. One love. Music. I'm out.